Hello, I'm Christina Scalera, the founder of The Contract Shop, a legal resource for creative entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs, and coaches and consultants. And today we are talking all about what kind of corporate entity you want to have when it comes to protecting and setting up your business. Setting up an LLC is almost always the first step for many businesses, and you can watch my other videos to find out why that's not my favorite first step. But nevertheless, if you find yourself in a situation where you've decided to incorporate and you're trying to pick what kind of corporation or limited liability company to form, then you have to consider a couple things. Additionally, you are always going to get a different answer from lawyers and CPAs when it comes to when you should actually incorporate or get an LLC. The reason for this is because lawyers are looking at companies or corporate structures from a legal liability perspective, and CPAs are looking at it from the perspective of trying to reduce any kind of tax liability, aka the amount of taxes that you're going to pay. Both are fine, but very different reasons to form some sort of corporate entity. With the legal side, you are protecting yourself in case you are sued, you're protecting your personal assets and all your personal savings. With the CPA's viewpoint, you're protecting yourself from paying even more taxes. So with the legal stuff, it's important to get that LLC or corporation ASAP. With the CPA, they're probably okay with you waiting for a little while until you have made enough money where your profitability becomes kind of a liability in a way, because it makes you pay even more in taxes and maybe you weren't prepared for that. So they're going to try to help you in that regard. By default, if you haven't formed any kind of corporate structure, you are a sole proprietor in the United States, or if you have one or more business partners, you are a partnership. Neither of these are actual legal entities. They're just kind of tax classifications. The cool thing is that if you decide to get an LLC, you can continue to pay taxes as a sole proprietor or as a partnership. You just get that legal benefit of keeping your personal and business assets separate for liability purposes in case you get sued. On the flip side of this, we have what you might consider corporations. These are C Corps and S Corps. And this is where things get a little hairy. So a C Corporation used to be all that existed in the 1980s and earlier. And in the 1990s, states realized how difficult it was for businesses to operate without any kind of liability protection, namely a corporate structure. So they created this cool little thing called an LLC. And it was really easy to form compared to a C corporation, which is much more difficult to form and maintain. It's a lot more costly. It's taxed in a totally different way that isn't necessarily advantageous to brand new businesses. And so with the advent of the LLC in the 1990s, it really made DBAs and C corporations something that we don't need to think about as small business owners. To be honest, if you're watching YouTube videos about what kind of corporate entity to form, you probably don't want to be forming a C corporation or an S corporation for that matter, but you should know that they are available to you if you grow to a certain threshold. That's a great time to talk to a CPA or a lawyer that you hire about these topics. Just to keep this on your horizon, the other kind of company that you could form is an S corporation, and these are awesome for reducing your tax liability once you're making $30,000 to $40,000 a year in profit, not revenue. They are something that can also retroactively be applied. So if you are filing taxes and you find yourself making a lot more money than you thought you were going to, it's a good idea to hire a CPA and have them look over your taxes and possibly even get you filing as an LLC who is filing under an S corporation status for tax purposes in order to reduce some of that tax burden for you. So to sum up, we have LLCs and we have corporations, and an LLC can choose to be taxed like a sole proprietor or a partnership, or an LLC can choose to be taxed like a corporation, namely an S corporation. It's important to know these differences so that you understand the path towards growth for you and your business, and that you keep yourself safe and protected along the way. If you like this video, make sure you're subscribed, because every single week we come out with new legal tips for your business to keep you safe and sound, and we make sure that we put them into terms that you will always understand. And you might want to check out the video that just popped up on your screen, because we've got more where this came from. We're going to continue the journey with you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.